I got another 9 this time. So I just wanted to get the same exact gun, but for underneath my desk. I'm going to put one of these lights underneath it. That one's going to be for my AR-15. Just matches the color. I was thinking about getting a tan one in this one, but yeah, I just didn't like it. It wasn't that big a deal anyway. But yeah, so I got one at the bedside, and then, you know, I'll get the same setup for underneath my desk. But I'm not here to talk about guns. I'm here to talk about peace. And I start with violence. This whole Tory Lanez thing, and then another thing that's happening here at the house personally with a friend of mine, just makes me think about the cost of a peaceful life and what that's going to cost you and when you're going to have to pay that cost. For a person like myself, a peaceful life cost, but it doesn't cost as near as much as a person that has lived with dysfunctional, but lived in somewhat a bad environment, a dysfunctional environment, has possibly escaped said environment, and continue to perpetuate the dysfunction within that environment. You know, we look at Tory Lanez, you know, all the things that he's done. Let's just say again, hey, Tory Lanez is guilty. He's found guilty by a court of law. Let's say that is the truth. What has he done to get peace? What has he done to keep himself out of a situation like this? And that's the important thing, right? I want to take lessons from things like this. I want to take lessons from personal events that are happening in my own life, which are nothing major. It's just, you know, really just seeing something and then seeing how it's working out, right? And just observing it and, you know, jotting down the notes and bringing it to you all so it can be looked at and digested further. I'll make this one quick. But peace costs. Peace will cost you in the ways of your decisions that you make, the things that you do, the things that you hold off on, being a person that understands delayed gratification, that understands that they don't need everything right then and there, or that they plan things accordingly and put themselves in the right position so that they can achieve their goals. It took me a while to get to this point. It took me a while to get to a point where I think I'm better at it than I was before. And now I see what it costs other people. I know what it costs me to get here. And it's nothing compared to what other brothers got to deal with. Other brothers got to deal with kids, right? Whether from the chick that they're with or their side piece. Other brothers got to deal with, fucking around, fucking with one girl and her homegirl, and then that blowing up in your face because you're trying to fuck with somebody else. And then guess what it turns out to? You get caught up and you're losing your freedom. Like, this is the cost that people have to pay, and the higher price. Like, what is Tory Lanez gonna have to do to get peace after this? Because mentally speaking, like, you being in jail and things like that doesn't go anywhere. That sticks with you. Like, that's yours. You know what I mean? That thought process, that situation, that trauma, so to speak, that's yours. It's Meg Thee Stallion's too. She has trauma because of this, one way or another. You know, being talked about in the media. Tory being talked about in the media. I'm seeing a screenshot from Brother Ed about, women are talking about, hey, I got Christmas early because Tory Lanez has been found guilty on all counts. And again, I don't think it's right. But then I also have to look at, why am I not in that situation? as a true narcissist of today's era, I bring it back to me. Like, why am I not caught up? Why am I not out here with the thoughts, running amok, running reckless, loose, wild, fast, and free? Why can't I just walk into the gun store and be out in less than 30 minutes? It took me longer to drive there than it did for me to buy a gun. Why am I home right now thinking about, I gotta add this to my spreadsheet so I can schedule the payment? Why? This boring life I live. Oh my God, the only time my dick gets wet is when I take a shower. And sometimes I forget to, okay, I'm gonna stop. But you get the point, like what is the cost of peace? I'm thinking, I was like, oh man, I kind of want to go out to a strip club tonight or something like that, man. But bitch, it's cold. And I'd have to drive like an hour and a half and then drive an hour and a half back. I'd probably get a hotel over there. But do I want to spend that money? All this other shit. Then I have to get money out the bank. And then, I can only get so much out of the bank. It's just like, I look at this and I'm like, it's not worth it to me. And guess what happens because of something like that? I can go to these places. I've been to clubs before and nothing really happens. But you can get caught up in something. You can get a flat tire. You can get stuck out in the road, like I live in the fucking country, which is, it's not that. I'd be in freaking Jacksonville in 2 seconds, but what is the cost of peace that people have to pay? And the last part of this video is the cost of peace gets higher the more and more that you push it off, that you keep indulging in dysfunctional behavior. You keep on, you keep getting things now and not practicing delayed gratification, in terms of investments, retirement accounts, or anything else. By not, managing your books and your money and everything else like that. Like, you keep putting yourself in this situation because, or you'll keep yourself, you'll incur a higher cost of peace. Let's call it the cost of peace. Cost of cop. Oh man, 12. You'll keep on incurring a higher cost of peace, and it'll just keep on again, this goes back to, I guess it's also another way of saying, life will let you pick the switch for which to beat your ass with. Like, just think about the shit that, a friend does or a family member does, and they keep putting themselves in a shitty situation because they don't know. This is fucking sick. And, I like this because it has, you can't see it. Anyway, hold on. Yeah, that green dot's pretty fucking sick. I like that shit. And it goes fucking far. Say from my back door to the tree line that shows the marker from my end of my front yard is about 250 feet. This shit gets there, dude. Easy. Bright as fuck. I could hit a deer from this fucking distance. The smaller one is easier to adjust. You just got to line it up with pretty much the little red sights here. So once you get that lined up with the red dot, or with in this case, a green, yeah, it's pretty much spot on. But I like it. I like the feel of this. I also this is what I like. This is why I want this full-size big-ass light. One, it's home defense. So I can do things to a distance, but if you're shooting somebody at a distance, you're doing something illegal. But this right here, just boom, I can get to this. It's easy to get to. The other one, the smaller one, you have to push down. And I don't like that motion because pushing down is a lot weaker than, pushing downward is a lot weaker than just clicking it, which is another way of pushing down. But yeah, you see what I'm saying here. So I don't like the smaller one because of that, but the smaller one is really easy to adjust. It's 2 little screws, and this one is too. I think it's there's that hole there, and then there's another hole, and then that's the charging pad. So yeah, it's pretty nice. And then, of course, getting the same lights. I just ordered it right before I made this video. So I ordered the black one. So that's coming for this bad boy here. And then I have to mount this to my AR. But yeah, that's why I like this. Like, I like this whole setup. This feels real nice. And like, I gotta shoot it a little bit. Make sure everything stays. What's it called? Boom, just like that. And it's ambidextrous too. So you can get on both sides. But what is the cost of peace? You know, like, what do we have to do to get that? That cost gets higher and higher every time you keep on indulging in dysfunctional behavior. Every time you keep on pushing yourself towards, you know, having fun, doing things now, getting things now. I understand how that is. You know, you have to wait for certain things, and then next thing you know, boom, you're 40-something years old. You may not have any property. You may... what's it called? I don't know what's going to happen with Tory, but yo, if he have to serve 20 years, bro, that'll be really, like, 20 years and he doesn't, like, even have a chance of getting out. Yeah, that'll be sick, dude. That'll be sick. And the worst part is, and I'm not wishing this on her, but we've seen this behavior before because she's already been in a situation where she's been really messy about stuff like this. And any dude should look at her like, you know, like, yo, listen, you're bad news. Like, you cause fucking problems for dudes, right? But, you know, and, you know, Tory went crazy. Like, or if he, like, let's say he did it, right? But Tory took it too far. Like, you gotta learn not to let that shit hurt you, bro. Bruise your fucking ego, and then boom, now this. So, you know, he has to take accountability for it, and he's gonna have to pay for it. But we've seen stories about Meg Thee Stallion come out, whether they're rumors or not. But, yo, we've seen stories of how messy this chick is, and trust and believe, this shit, I really think this shit will happen again. Like, this is not, you know, an isolated incident. In fact, this is not the first time. She's done this shit before where she's actually been put in jail for fighting a grown-ass man. And it's just like, yo, when are we going to really start to say, like, what is it going to take for us to say, hey, listen, this chick has a problem. This guy was wrong, but this chick has a problem. And we as men in general should stay the fuck away from her. And women like her, which is pretty much every modern woman. Because they think they can do all this shit. Literally, these women are the new untouchables. And this is what we have to watch out for. Anyways, I said I wouldn't make this long. I did a little bit of a gun review. I got to shoot this thing. Maybe I'll shoot it tomorrow or something like that. On Christmas here. You know, start firing off on Santa. You know, Santa's the ops. Ah! Fuck you and your reindeer, bitch. Bang, 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 bang. Oh, okay, let me... I think I'm a little bit too excited. All right, with that being said, love you all. Peace.